Hello everyone, welcome to Sarah's Stitchery. My name is Sarah and this is my channel where I talk all about my cross stitch. Today is October 2nd and this is Flosstube episode number 20. I wanted to say welcome back to everyone who is a returning viewer. Thank you for spending more time with me. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see today and I hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel. Let's get right into it. So I'm a little bit behind schedule. I usually film every 2 weeks. I usually film like on a Saturday or a Sunday, but today's Wednesday, so why not? I just didn't want to let any more time go by and make it an even longer stretch because I have a lot of things to share with you today. So I always start with a brief personal update. So I figured I would tell you just a little bit about the retreat I went to a week and a half ago. So I went to the 141 Pep Rally retreat that's hosted by Chantel's 141 Design Company. It is in the little town of Williamston, Michigan. Cute little town. That's where Chantel's shop is located. This was my second time going to the retreat. It was the second retreat that she has put on and my second time attending as well. And there was a guest designer. So our guest designer this time was stitching with the Housewives. We got to do a pre-stitch before the retreat, which I'll be showing you today, which we fully finished at the retreat. So I'll be showing that to you. And yeah, so I went to the retreat with my friends Allison, who is AllieCat13 on Instagram, and my friend Karen, who is Benton Station Crafter on Instagram. And they're local to me, so we all drove up together. In fact, these ladies are such good friends that I had parent-teacher conferences on Thursday the 19th. The retreat started Friday morning. These women waited for me to be done with my parent-teacher conferences, which weren't over till 8 o'clock. And we drove from my house. We went up and picked up Allison, and then we drove 4 hours to get to Michigan. So we got up there, it was like 12:15, 12:30 when we got up there. So these ladies, I told them, you don't have to wait for me. If you want to drive up ahead of time, like no hard feelings, right? But they waited for me. And so we got in real late and then we got up real early the next morning for the retreat. So thank you, Allison and Karen, for being true friends and not making me drive by myself for 4 hours after working a 13-hour day. So anyway, so while I was at the retreat, I sat with Allison and Karen, and then we also got to sit with our friend Lori, who is the Grateful Needle on Instagram, and we got to meet her friend Emily, and I did not ask if I could share her Instagram, which I don't know if I've ever asked if I could share Lori's, but I always do, so she's never said anything, so I'm guessing it's okay. And then we also sat with our friend Michelle, who is Michelle Lee Quilts, on Instagram and on Etsy. She has a shop and she sells the most beautiful quilted project bags. So go give her a follow on Instagram and Etsy. So yeah, I had a fantastic time at the retreat, just hanging out with my friends, doing a lot of stitching, shopping at Chantel's shop. In fact, her shop is adorable. I would strongly suggest that you go look at my Instagram and take a look at the reel I posted of all the pictures I took at her shop, because everywhere you look is eye candy, as far as the eye can see. And so super cute. And it was nice to see the models because, you know, it helps me get ideas of how to use her pieces. So if you're not familiar with Chantel's 141 Design Company, she designs wooden finishing pieces for cross stitch. And so just seeing all the models and all the different ways they use these pieces to display cross stitch was just super inspiring. So definitely go check out my reel. And there's so many other people who have posted things. Go check out Chantel's Instagram account because she's been posting a lot of things too. So yeah, I had a fantastic time. Thank you to everybody who came over and introduced themselves to me. Thank you for everyone who gave me gifts. I got so many beautiful, lovely things from people, and that was really very kind. I was a little overwhelmed with all of the kindness. So thank you guys so much. That meant a lot to me. And a big shout out to my table 11 friends. I didn't sit at table 11, I sat at table 13. But there was a group of ladies at table 11 who actually met each other for the first time at last year's retreat. And they sat at table 11 and they have become the best of friends ever since then. And so, of course, they had to have table 11 again this year and sit together again this year. So they made me feel like an honorary member of their table. So, hi, ladies. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the stitching. I've got some fully finishes. I've got a finish. I've got some new starts. I've got some whips, and then I have some giveaways. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with fully finishes. Oh, before I do that, let me show you my sweatshirt first of all. Look how cute. October is my favorite month of the year. I love all the spooky fall, pumpkin, everything vibes. And so I've got my cute little ghost sweatshirt with my little, he's walking the dog, drinking his coffee. So I know people will probably want to know where my sweatshirt's from. So I'll put a link below and it glows in the dark. I'm all about the fall right now. So I'm pretending that it's not sweltering hot in this room right now. So if you see me glistening, I'm sweating. But I had to wear my fall sweatshirt. So here we are. I'm suffering for the fall fashion. All right, let me get into the stitching. Sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place today. Let's talk about my fully finishes. So these were my fully finishes that I did at the retreat. So we did some pre-stitching beforehand. We had 3 ornaments to stitch from Stitching with the Housewives. And then at the retreat, they did a finishing tutorial. Sorry, I just moved the camera. And we fully finished them together at the retreat. So I'll show them to you one by one. So we finished these on boards by Chantel's 141 Design Company. So these little wooden ornament boards. She had them already painted for us, so that was nice. And I'm holding this on because it came unglued. I got to glue it back on. But we mounted our stitched piece on a round sticky circle, did another sticky circle for the background with a checkered fabric. And then we did some greenery, a bow, and a covered button, and voila, you have a finish. Turned out super cute. So there was that one. That was Santa Claus is Coming to Town. These patterns are not available right now, but I'm sure the Housewives will probably, I'm not sure, I assume the Housewives will probably put these patterns out at some point for everybody. Here's my cookies for Santa. Let me tell you a little bit about the details of the stitch. I stitched mine on a 28 count Crystal Legacy linen by Picture This Plus. So it's got a little bit of sparkle. I don't know if you can see that at all, but it's got a little sparkle. And all of the ornament finishes were different shapes, as you can see. So here's my third one, Dear Santa. And that turned out super cute as well. So I cannot wait to display these this winter and with my Christmas decorations. And that was just a lot of fun. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, Priscilla and Chelsea, for the patterns and for showing us how to finish them. And yeah, it was a great time. Let me get into my finish next. So this one's not fully finished, but I did finish stitching it a couple of nights ago. There we go. Move that over here. This is Autumn Bee by The Blue Flower. There we are. So let me show you the pattern. This came out, I want to say last year, but I did get it early. This was an exclusive from the Silver Needle that my friend Kim gave to me. She gave me the kit. So I stitched it using all of the called for dinky dyes. Very beautiful colors, very soft. If you've never stitched with dinky dyes before, they're very, very easy and pleasant to work with. So there's my bee. I think it turned out very lovely. This finish is, I'm counting this as one of my 24 finishes in 2024. If you've been watching my channel for some time, you know that I set myself a goal at the beginning of the new year to go back and finish some of my previous whips. So things that were whips prior to 2024. And so I wanted to get 24 things finished. And I usually go ahead and fully finish things pretty quickly too. But I wanted to get 24 things finished off my list that were whips prior to 2024. So that equals out to be 2 per month. So this was one of my September ones. I did not get a second one done for September. Unfortunately, this bee took a lot more time than I expected it to. There's a lot of dense stitching in this thing. So it was a little bit more of a job than I expected it to be, but very well worth it. So, so I am behind on a finish for September, but I'll get that done pretty quickly. So as of right now, I'm at 17 out of 24 finishes for this year. So not many more to go. I'll get right back on track. But I can't wait to fully finish this. I'm going to fully finish it just as it's pictured here as a pillow. I did order the called for chenille and velveteen from Lady Creates, both in the color Berry Crush. So that should be coming on Monday. So then I'm going to turn this into a pillow and put it out with my fall display. So that was my finish. Turned out so cute. And I don't know about you guys, but when I finish something, like my favorite part of finishing something is getting to put the floss and the fabric back in my stash. So like when I stitch things, usually I do not cut my fabric. I usually keep the whole piece of fabric and I stitch over in a corner. I always start at the top left corner. Because there have been times where I have changed my mind about something and I've decided that I want to restart it on different fabric or just not do it at all. So if I'm only up in one little corner and I make that decision, I'm not wasting a whole piece of fabric. So I never cut my fabric. I'm not going to say never. I usually don't cut my fabric until I've finished stitching something. So once I finish that autumn bee, I cut it out and I put the fabric back in my stash. So I'm looking forward to putting these back in my stash now too. That's like my favorite part of finishing something. Okay, let's talk about a couple of new starts. I did start both of these when I was at the retreat. The first one I want to talk about is Dear Friends by Plum Street Samplers. This is an older pattern. This is from 2015. And my friends Jody and Felicia decided to host a stitch along for this. Both of my friends have Etsy shops. Jody, you can find her actually on Flosstube and Instagram and on Etsy as Simply Stitching Ocala. And her friend Felicia, my friend Felicia too, she has a shop called Floss and Blocks, and she's the same on Instagram as well. Felicia sells quilting fabric in her shop. Jody sells a little bit more of a selection of quilting fabric. She sells cross-stitch patterns. She sells floss. She puts together these great bundles where you can purchase pre-cut fabric and finishing trims and things like that for finishing your cross-stitch. And so I would definitely suggest that you go check out both of their shops. But they're hosting a SAL, which actually started on September 22nd, the first day of fall. And the hashtag is Dear Friends SAL. Dear spelled D-E-E-R. I apologize for the dogs barking. They will stop in a moment. They make sure to let me know if anybody's walking past our house. But let me show you my start. It's a very small start. But I started it when I was at the retreat on September 22nd. Here we are. Sorry for the wrinkles, but I'm stitching this on a 46 count old mushroom, and I'm stitching it with all the called for floss. So I just have a little tiny part of a deer body. One thing I wanted to point out, because my friend Felicia was actually talking to our group about this today. The deer, I'm going to come in a little bit closer there. The deer, you can kind of see he has like a little like sweater pattern on his body there. I'm using all the called for floss. I haven't done the lighter color inside the little diamonds, but I have used all the other regular colors, and you can see it all looks the same color. There's like no differentiation there between the other colors and the deer color. So I don't know if I'm going to pull that out and change it or just leave it. I have no idea, but I am using all the called for floss, and they are all classic colorworks. So FYI, if you want to start this pattern, you might want to use some different color threads for the ones that go inside of the deer, because it's just not showing up. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll change it or just leave it. We'll see. But while I have this out and while I'm thinking about it, so my friend Jody, who I mentioned is Simply Stitching Ocala, I wanted to mention that her sister was a victim of the recent hurricane, as I know many people are. And her sister actually experienced a very devastating loss. Her home was washed away in the floodwaters. Her sister lives in Tennessee, by the way, and her name is Kelly. And she lives close to the Nolichucky River. And so her sister was actually out of town when the hurricane hit. And while she was out of town, her house was completely washed away. It's completely destroyed. She lost everything in her home. The only upside was that someone was able to get in and save her dogs. So fortunately, all the living inhabitants of the home, I don't know why I'm still holding this up. All of the living inhabitants of the home are safe, but she's experienced a pretty devastating loss. She also lost her vehicle. Her vehicle was washed away, and it's also endured some pretty extensive damage. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because Jody has put together a GoFundMe to help her sister. And so I thought I would just put the word out there for her. I would strongly suggest go checking out Jody's Instagram. She did recently, I think just today, post some photographs of the devastation of her sister's home. And so I am going to be posting the GoFundMe link below. If you feel so inclined that you would like to help, even something very small goes a long way, you know, if she gets multiple donations. So, you know, just putting that out there if you feel inclined to help, or if you could even just share on your Instagram just to kind of get the word out. But yeah, I just want to say that my heart goes out to everyone who's been impacted by this storm. The effects of it have been very far-reaching, and just seeing, you know, the devastation that people have faced on Instagram and on the news, like it's, you know, it's something I can't imagine. So, you know, if that's something that's happened to you or one of your family members, I just wanted to let you know that my thoughts are with you, and, you know, yeah. So anyway, so I want to put that out there for you. So I'll put the link below. So moving on, sorry, that got a little intense, but I mean, people are going through some real stuff. So it is what it is, right? Okay, so that was my first new start when I was at the retreat. So let me show you my second new start when I was at the retreat. When I was at the retreat, I also brought along my Wee Santa 2024 from Heart and Hand. And I actually got to start this with some of my friends. So my friends Allison and Karen, who I mentioned earlier, started this with me at the retreat, along with several of the Table 11 ladies who I mentioned before. They brought it to start with me. And my friend Sarah, you might know her as Handmade by Sarah W. on Instagram and Flosstube. She also started it with us in spirit. She was not at the retreat. She was at home. If you've been following her Instagram or her Flosstube, you know that she is home laid up with a broken ankle. So she started this with us too, and she finished hers already, and it looks amazing. Go check her Instagram out, by the way, to see that. But I started mine, and I just have a teeny tiny little start. I had originally started it on a very light neutral colored fabric, and my light colored stitches in this banner were not showing up. So I just had a game day decision. I changed my fabric while I was at the retreat. I happened to have, let me pull this out. I haven't made any progress on it, but I happened to have my floral motif sampler, and it's a very large piece of fabric because, as I mentioned, I don't usually cut my fabric. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to use that. So I started my Wee Santa down in the opposite corner, and let me just hold this up, and here it is. Just a little start. Just got the working on that banner on the side where it says Mary B. So this fabric is a 46 count Silver Fox by Fiber on a Whim. And I'm using, I think mostly the called for colors. There might be a couple of DMCs that I subbed in, but so far it looks pretty cute. I may change the stocking here. The stocking is in a blue color. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's blue. And I don't know if the blue stocking on this bluish fabric is gonna look great. So I don't know. I've been toying with the idea of changing it, or maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. But that was my start on Wee Santa. And I got to change out the project bag, but I was using this for both of my new starts. So I have Dear Friends in here, which makes sense because it's fall. But I think I'm going to keep Wee Santa out so I can put it in a Christmas bag because I had it in here. And this was a bag that, speaking of Jody, I got this from Jody when we went to StitchCon. It was her table gift to us. So let me put the Wee Santa aside so I can get it a proper bag in its own bag. Okay, the rest of these are whips, works in progress. And I'm going to start with the next thing that I plan on finishing as part of my 24 and 24 finishes. So I started this last year, probably last October. It's called the Pumpkin House by Hello from Liz Mathews. And this is that pattern, if you've seen it, where you stitch the top on a blue fabric and then you stitch the bottom on a light neutral. And so I had started it last year, but I made the rookie mistake of stitching both of mine on 2 different counts of fabric. I don't know what I was thinking. Clearly I wasn't thinking. So that was very frustrating to me when I discovered my mistake last year and I just like put it away. I was like, oh, forget it. And so I just kind of put it in timeout until I decided what I wanted to do. Well, my friend Sarah, Handmade by Sarah W, pulled hers out and she's like, I'm going to finish this. And I was like, oh, let me pull mine out and see. So I pulled it out and I was still annoyed with myself. Let me show you. I have this done on the blue. This blue is a 40 count fabric from Fabrics by Stephanie called Circe. That's all I had on that. I didn't have much. And then I had started on the pumpkin patch down below. And actually I've been working on it a little bit. Sorry for the wrinkled fabric. But I made the decision that I am going to scrap the top, not going to stitch it. I'm just going to frog it from the blue fabric and put the blue fabric back in my stash. And I'm just going to finish this pumpkin patch and turn it into a little pillow for my dough bowl and call it a day. So, you know, because I did a lot of, that was too much stitching to just, you know, I wasn't going to frog all that for sure. So I'll just keep working on it. That'll be my next 24 and 24 finish. And then I will have caught up with my September goal and I'll maybe get started on my October 24 and 24 goal. So this is going to get frogged and put back in my stash so I can use it for another wonderful project. So I'm glad that I can at least salvage part of it and I don't have to get rid of all of it. So next time I'll be much more careful. I mean, I knew that going in that I was going to have to do the same count of fabric. Oh, I didn't even mention what fabric the pumpkin patch was on. Sorry. This is why I should not film after I've been teaching all day because my brain is a little... but I'm stitching this on a 46 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. So they're just not going to fit together. 2 different counts. And I am using the floss conversion from Forbidden Fiber Co. So there's that. Got it in a, I don't even know who this is by because there's no tag or anything on it, but it's a very cute patchwork Halloween bag. So I don't know who that's from. Okay, my next whip is my Blackbird's Autumn. This is from the Robin Pickens Seasonal Courier series. If you've watched me before, you know that I'm stitching all 4 of the birds in the series. And I'm fully finishing them in my calendar cubby from Paisleys and Polka Dots. I do have some pictures on my Instagram if you're curious about what that looks like. but I'm a little bit behind. I need to get this done because I have all my fall decor out, but I still have the summer, the Blue Jays summer in my calendar cubby, and it's looking a little weird amongst my fall decor. So let me show you all of them real quick. So this was spring, Robin's spring, and this was the summer, Blue Jays summer. So I've stitched both of those. This is the one that's still in my calendar cubby. And of course, this is the one I'm working on now. And then, of course, I'll be stitching winter. And then I'll have all four, and I can just switch them out for the seasons. So that is the goal. Let me check and see. I always have to look and see what fabric I'm using. Okay, so for this, let me show you my stitching first. And I am using all the called for DMC. The colors are so vibrant and beautiful. Here we are. That's what I have so far. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count sand from Picture This Plus, using 2 strands over 2. This is the only thing I'm stitching right now that is 2 strands. Everything else is 1 strand over 2. But look how vibrant those colors are coming out. So once I finish the pumpkin patch that I was just showing you from the pumpkin house, I'm going to get back to this so I can quickly finish it. These do stitch up pretty fast for me, and that way I can get it put into my calendar cubby. And I also had a couple friends at the retreat stitching this too. My friend Emily was stitching it, and my friend Christine was stitching it, and I think she finished it while she was at the retreat. So super jealous. I need to catch up. So that'll be kind of my next focus after I finish stitching that little pumpkin patch. All right, and I keep this in a project bag from Pepper Pot Shop. I'll show you in just a second. Let me put it away. From Pepper Pot Shop on Etsy, also on Instagram. And that is actually my sister, Megan. That's her shop. She makes these bags. And so, of course, I have to keep all the bird patterns here in my colorful bird bag. And it's funny because my friend Christine, who I just mentioned, was stitching that same Blackbird's Autumn at the retreat, had this same bag. So, of course, we had to pose for a picture with our bags. So, very fun. I love being matchy-matchy with my friends. All right, another thing that I worked on at the retreat was my Jenny Bean's Halloween sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. I started this a couple years ago, and I wanted to just pull it out and get some progress on it because I haven't worked on it in a while. And so I did. Let me show you what I've got. And I'm stitching this on my very favorite fabric. Anybody happen to know what that is? Thought I saw some hands up. Sorry, I need to get out of teacher mode. It is 40 count Grandpa's Sleeve by XU Design. It's my favorite fabric. I love how dirty and grungy it looks. I think it's perfect for like Halloween. It's perfect for other things too, but definitely for Halloween stitching. So here's where I am so far. This is charted in All Gentle Arts. And when I was at the retreat, what I added was, I had the outline of this house, but I filled in the roof. And I filled in all the details inside the house, like the windows and the door. And so now all I need to do is the fill in, and then that house will be done. And then I can move on to some other things. But the house is the bulk of the stitching because it's solid. Everything else should go a little more quickly. So that's where I'm at. I would like to definitely pull that out and work on it some more. I don't know that I'll get it done this fall, but I'd definitely like to make some more progress on it. So, worked on that. I was glad I brought that. It was kind of one of those impromptu, like I was packing my bag for the retreat, and I was like, I'm gonna throw that in there. I didn't know if I would work on it or not, and I did, and I'm happy that I did. So, let me put this one away. Thank you for being patient and allowing me to put everything back in the bags, because it could get a little crazy if I don't put things away. As I've heard other floss tubers say too. Like, when you do a floss tube, when you're done, there's just a mess. Even if you put things away, there's still a big mess at the end. So it reduces my stress level to go ahead and put everything away now instead of trying to figure out what belongs with what. All right, moving right along. I have one more whip. I worked on this at the retreat too. I showed it in my last video. You know her, you love her. It's Nettle by Stacy Nash. She was one of the new animal cracker designs that just came out at market. I had to snatch her up as soon as I saw her. And yeah, so I've been stitching her. There she is on the back. So cute. So let me show you what I've got. I was hoping to finish her while I was at the retreat. I did not, but I got really close to a finish on Nettle herself. I haven't stitched any of her accessories yet. But here she is. Isn't she so cute? I love her so much. So I got her dress done while I was at the retreat. So she just needs legs and feet now. And then she's done. And then I just have to stitch her accessories. So you can see on the back here are her accessories. She has a mask. She has a pumpkin bucket, and then she's got that little round disc that says boo. I think I might not stitch the boo. I don't think that's necessary, but I'm definitely going to stitch her pumpkin bucket and her mask for sure. So, and I'm going to finish her exactly as she is on here, as a little like, you know, stuffy. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I've never done a finish like that before, but I'm going to give it a try. And I'm sure she's going to turn out very lovely. You can see she's pretty big. I mean, look at her compared to my hand. She's pretty large, so she's going to be a good size. So hopefully the next time I see you, I'll have her done. Her legs done, her accessories. Not going to make any promises about a fully finished by then, but the stitching, that would be nice to have done by the time I see you next. Oh, I didn't even tell you any details. Goodness gracious. Sorry about that. Just kind of like rushing through everything. I'm stitching this on a 36 count. I don't usually stitch on 36 count. It's not my favorite. But I'm stitching it on 36 because that's what is called for here. And I just kind of want to follow all of the directions since it's a finish I'm not familiar with. It's a 36 count scroll by Be Stitch Me. It was a fabric I got a long time ago when I was part of their Fabric of the Month Club. So there she is. So cute. And those were my whips. That's what I've been working on. I focused a lot. Since you saw me last, I focused a lot on that autumn bee. So I'm so excited. Sorry again about the dogs barking. I'm so excited to get back to some of these other things, get some progress, get some finishes going, and have more things to show you. All right, so that's all my stitching. So before I go, let's talk about some giveaways. Let's first talk about a previous giveaway. I had announced the winner to this. There were two winners. I had announced these winners a couple of videos ago, and then I re-announced them in my last video. I did hear from one winner, but I haven't heard from the other, so I'm just going to, I drew another name. And so what this is I was contacted by Hannah at the Ladybug Stitches shop on Etsy, and she's also ladybug.stitches on Instagram, and she's a cross-stitch designer, and she has this adorable monthly series called All Piled Up, and she sent me a copy of her June strawberries and her September leaves. And she was so kind to offer a giveaway to two of my viewers. And she said that the winners could choose a PDF from her shop. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one of these. It can be whatever you choose. And so, like I said, one of the winners had contacted me, but the other one never did. So I went ahead and chose a different winner. And so the winner of one of the charts from Ladybug Stitches shop is Stitching_in_Texas. So congratulations, Stitching in Texas. You are my winner. So make sure you get in touch with me. You can contact me on Instagram at StitchySarahReads, or you can send me an email, stitchysarahreads@gmail.com. I'll put it all below so you don't have to try to remember that. And just let me know that you are the winner of the PDF from Ladybug Stitches shop. Okay, fantastic. So that was a previous giveaway that I wanted to re-announce. And then I have two new giveaways. So this is another designer who contacted me recently. Her shop is called Rouge Antique, and I will put a link to her shop below. But she has these adorable fall animal designs that kind of reminding me of a Stacy Nash animal cracker. But she offered these 2 PDFs to 2 of my viewers. So the first one, sorry about that. The first one that she offered to one of my viewers is this adorable little fox. The title is in French, I believe. I don't speak French, so I'm going to just put that up there and let you see that. So isn't he adorable? He's so dapper in his jacket with his little cane. So you can win this pattern. It does come as a PDF, so it's open to all people from anywhere, internationally, within the United States, wherever. And you need to use the word fox in your comment. Use the word fox. And then, this one's adorable too. And then we also have the mouse. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. I just love, if you look closely, on his sweater and on his pants are little fox faces. He's so cute. So a lucky winner can also win this one, and just use the word mouse in your comment. And then I will draw winners next video. And the designer was so sweet. Her name is Veronique, and she offered me a chart. So she gave me this adorable little one called My Little Alphabet. Isn't that so cute? That's gonna look adorable as a little pillow in my dough bowl. So definitely go check out her shop. Like I said, it's called Rouge Antique. I will put a link below to her shop so you can go and check out her patterns for yourself. So thank you, Veronique, for the giveaway. And like I said, I'll announce that in the next video, which will be in about 2 weeks. But that's not my final giveaway. I have one more giveaway because people are so generous. So while I was at the retreat, there was a vendor there named Christine, and she was selling cuts of fabric, of quilting fabric. And let me show you her information. There's her name, Christine Owsley. She is on Etsy, Threads Stitches Fabric. And she's also on Instagram, Threads Stitches Fabric. So go check out her shop, go check out her Instagram. And let me show you what she has offered. And I'll put these links below too. Let me show you what she has offered for a giveaway. She gave me this very generous bundle of fabrics to give away to one of my lucky viewers. So I'll just kind of roll through them real quick. We've got this one, and these are all from the Stitching with the Housewives line from Fat Quarter Shop, I believe. Beautiful. These are all perfect for some cross stitch finishing, perfect for some Halloween and Christmas stitching. So pretty. So how many is that? We've got 4, 5, 8 cuts of fabric. And I believe these are all fat quarters. Don't hold me to it, but I think so. And so got a very generous bundle from Christine for one of you. And I am going to ask that if you enter the giveaway that you be from the United States, just because this is a little hefty and it's going to cost me some money to ship it. So I want to make sure that that it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg to send to somebody. So I will ask that you be from the United States to enter in this giveaway. If you want to enter to win the bundle of fabric, just use the word fabric. I'm making it sweet and simple here today. So use the word fabric, use the word mouse, and use the word fox to be entered in these giveaways. And like I said, I will pick a winner in my next video and get those out to you. And also to the my previous giveaway winners that contacted me recently, I did get your things out in the mail. Thank you so much for your patience. Those should be getting to you very, very soon. So I hope you enjoy your winnings. Oh, and I forgot to show you what I was keeping Nettle in. Sorry, it's still sitting here. Forgot to show you my Painted Leaf Co bag. I have to show this to you because it's from my mom. Her name is Kathy, and she also has a shop called Painted Leaf Co. So I will make sure that I link all of the shops and everything I talked about below. If I forgot to link something, just let me know. I'll be happy to share that with you. And I think that's all I've got today. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say goodbye. I hope that everybody is staying safe. I hope that everybody is staying healthy, and I hope that you get some stitching time in. I'd love to hear what you're stitching on. Are you stitching fall? Are you stitching something else? I know some people like to stitch ahead of the season, so maybe some of you have already started your Christmas stitching. Let me know. I'd like to hear. So yeah, take care, everybody, and until next time, I'll see you later.